The concern arises when the grounded, also known as neutral, and bonding conductors are separated within a subpanel. If a metallic raceway is then used as a neutral conductor, any loose joints within that raceway introduce the potential for electrical shock or heating. This is because the raceway, under these circumstances, would be actively carrying current. A loose connection then creates a point where current can arc, leading to a fire hazard. The presented scenario involves a 3-inch nipple connecting a main panel to a subpanel. Crucially, the neutral is isolated from the grounding terminal and the subpanel itself. This configuration adheres to electrical code and mitigates the risk of the raceway functioning as a neutral conductor. However, the original concern remains valid. With the neutral and bonding conductors not separated within the subpanel and the raceway subsequently employed as a neutral conductor, the potential for electrical shock or heating due to loose joints would indeed be present. It is vital to remember that the bonding conductor's sole purpose is grounding. It should never function as a neutral conductor. The neutral conductor is designed to carry current, and its size must be appropriate for the electrical load it serves. Grounding and bonding are distinctly different concepts in electrical systems. Grounding creates a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source, facilitating the operation of overcurrent protective devices like circuit breakers or fuses. Bonding, on the other hand, connects all non-current carrying metallic parts of an electrical system to ensure they are at the same electrical potential. This minimizes the risk of electrical shock if a fault occurs. When installing a subpanel, the incoming grounded, neutral, conductor must be isolated from the subpanel enclosure and any grounding conductors. This separation prevents neutral current from flowing through the grounding system, which can create a hazardous situation. The grounding system, including the equipment, grounding conductors, and the metallic raceway, should be connected to grounding electrode systems such as a ground rod or a water pipe to provide a path for fault current to ground. The size of the grounding conductors must be appropriate for the size of the service conductors, as specified in the National Electrical Code, or NEC. Furthermore, the bonding jumpers used to bond metallic enclosures and raceways must also be sized according to the NEC. Failing to properly size these conductors can compromise the effectiveness of the grounding and bonding system. The NEC provides specific guidelines for grounding and bonding, which must be followed to ensure electrical safety. It is essential to consult the latest edition of the NEC and any applicable local codes before installing or modifying any electrical system. Proper grounding and bonding are critical for protecting people and property from electrical hazards. Neglecting these aspects of electrical installation can have serious consequences, including electrical shock, fire, and equipment damage. The importance of tight connections in electrical systems cannot be overstated. Loose connections create resistance, which generates heat. Over time, this heat can degrade the insulation on wires and other components, leading to short circuits and fires. Regularly inspect all electrical connections to ensure they are tight and free from corrosion. Use appropriate tools and techniques when making electrical connections to avoid damaging the conductors or terminals. When working with aluminum conductors, use an antioxidant compound to prevent corrosion. Aluminum oxide is a poor conductor of electricity and can cause connections to overheat. Properly torque all connections to the manufacturer's specifications. Under-torquing can result in loose connections, while over-torquing can damage the conductors or terminals. Use a calibrated torque wrench to ensure accurate and consistent torque. Electrical systems should be inspected periodically by a qualified electrician to identify and correct any potential hazards. Regular inspections can help prevent electrical problems before they lead to serious consequences. An electrician can also perform tests to verify the integrity of the grounding and bonding system. Several factors contribute to the safe and effective operation of an electrical system. Firstly, proper design is essential. The electrical system should be designed to meet the specific needs of the building or facility, taking into account the anticipated load and the available power supply. Secondly, proper installation is crucial. All electrical work should be performed by qualified electricians who are familiar with the NEC and local codes. Thirdly, proper maintenance is necessary. The electrical system should be inspected regularly and maintained in good working order. Fourthly, proper grounding and bonding is indispensable. A properly installed and maintained grounding and bonding system provides a low impedance path for fault current to ground, protecting people and property from electrical hazards. Fifthly, overcurrent protection is important. Circuit breakers and fuses protect electrical circuits from overloads and short circuits. Sixthly, surge protection is key. Surge protective devices, or SPDs, protect sensitive electronic equipment from voltage surges caused by lightning or other events. Seventhly, arc fault circuit interrupters, or SIs, provide protection against arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. Eighthly, ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, protect people from electrical shock by detecting ground faults and interrupting the circuit. Ninthly, proper wiring methods are a must. Use the correct type and size of wire for each application, and follow the NEC guidelines for wiring methods. Tenthly, proper labeling of circuits is needed. Clearly label all circuits in the electrical panel to make it easier to identify and troubleshoot problems. 11thly, electrical safety training is an advantage. Provide electrical safety training to all employees who work with or around electrical equipment. And 12thly, and lastly, follow all safety precautions. Always follow all safety precautions when working with electricity. Turn off the power before working on any electrical circuit, and use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE. In addition to the NEC, other standards and regulations may apply to electrical installations. These include standards from organizations such as Underwriters Laboratories, or all, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, or IEE, and the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA. It is important to be familiar with all applicable standards and regulations before starting any electrical work. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and best practices. It is essential to use the latest edition of the NEC when designing, installing, or modifying electrical systems. The NEC is a comprehensive document that covers a wide range of electrical topics. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional judgment. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer when in doubt about any aspect of electrical installation. Electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following safe electrical practices, we can prevent electrical accidents and protect people and property from harm. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer before making any electrical decisions. Remember, electricity can be dangerous if not handled properly. Always take precautions and follow safe electrical practices.